Hello, welcome. This is Anime Zone. Now, today I will be I'll be reviewing Your Lie in April. Now, Your Lie in April is one of my favorite animes, so I have quite a bit to say about it. This review will contain spoilers, so if you haven't watched it, go watch it. I think it is worth watching if you're an anime fan. So, yeah, let's begin. So, let's start with story. This show is on the list of shows that have made me cry. Now, from what I've heard, is that this isn't such an original story. The musician that has lost his passion to get it back. But I don't haven't really watched much things that involve music, so this is its first for me. Well, this type of storytelling for me, right? Because the only other types of music shows that I've watched are like K-On! And Hibiki, which I'm watching right now. Um, so yeah, the story is about a boy prodigy, right? Arima, that after having a breakdown on stage because of his mother's death, he can't hear his own playing anymore. And it's how he overcomes this by the people he meets and this struggle, right? Of course, I don't think the story has many surprises. Like I saw the ending coming, and it's not really about whether you see it coming because I can still enjoy something even if I see it coming. It's about how it's handled, and I think the way it's handled is very well done. That despite this being 22 episodes long, the show never felt like it was dragging. I was always entertained, and I was never bored while watching it. Um, this show focuses on its character struggles, which I always love that. I'm a fan of character drama. So characters are important in shows like this for me because I can't relate to the music aspect of it. So I have to relate, or not relate, but I have to be interested in the character aspects of it. And I think this is one of the reasons why I would put this show above Hibiki, which is also focuses on the music and it has a serious tone. But unlike Hibiki, this has more drama. Hibiki does have its fair share of drama, but it also focuses on the competition aspect a lot, which this does too, but its unique character drama and the character struggles that goes through it are just more compelling to me. So yeah, let's talk about the characters then. I'm very excited for this, so let's do it. When it comes to the characters, I want to talk about around 8 of them, I think, practically all of them, but I have very different things to say about each of them. Please forgive me with the names because I'm not good with Japanese names, so I will do my best. I will talk about Kayori, Hiriko, Saki, Takashi, Emi, Nagi, Subiki, the best friend, and of course Arama, in no particular order. And I'll give an honorable mention to Watari, which is the best friend, the guy, the sports guy. Now, he is my least favorite character because he doesn't play a major role in it. He's there but never changes or adds anything worth talking about. All I will say about him is that he was okay. I don't really care about him at all, his character. So, yeah, let's begin with Arima's mom, or Saki. Now, she was an interesting character. She made Kozi, Kozi, Koze, yeah, Koze. She made Koze learn to play the piano, but she never intended to make him a pianist until she found out that she was sick, right? And that want to be able to leave Arima with something that he can succeed, so that he can succeed, was really something that I did not expect for her for her to be her motivation first, or when she was first introduced. And at first I thought it was because she wanted him to achieve what none of them have achieved before, right? Or something that she couldn't achieve. She was pushing her motivations onto him, her expectations onto him. But it turns out that her motivations ended up being more sincere than what I was initially expecting. And the scene when Arima tells her, I'm pretty sure he told her that he hates her, because he played from the heart. Because of her, he thought she would get better, and she scolded him for it, right? And he said that he hated her, and he ran away, right? And when she broke down in front of Hiroko or Hiroko, um, and she was that was great. That was a great emotional moment. You know, she says she doesn't know what else to do for him. This is the only thing she can do for him while she's crying. Um, that that made me change my view on her drastically up to that point, and that was great. Um, that definitely was one of my favorite scenes of that episode and just the show in general, and it really got to me. It got me in my feels, which is surprising because up to that point I did not like her character. I had a very I was very angry towards her because, Arima, I was rooting for Arima to get better, so, and she was the cause of his problem, so yeah. But that scene is what made her character become more endearing to me, I guess you would say, and I really ended up liking her character by the end of the story, or just the show in general. So this will be a perfect transition to Hiriko because that was her friend, Arima's mom's friend. Now her being like the new mother figure to Arima, to Koze, right? Her caring about him and having his back and supporting his decisions was really nice to have, because he really needed that. And her being a famous instructor or whatever, I like the fact that she felt guilt. She felt a great amount of guilt for Koze's situation, because she's the one who pushed Arima's mom to want to make him into a pianist, and she basically cornered him. And if she never did that, maybe he wouldn't have ended up in the situation that he is, in the state that he is. And that aspect of her character was just great. It was really great, and it's probably my favorite aspect of her. I also like how kind-hearted she was. She was a very kind person. I really, really did like her character. But I don't have much to say. That's pretty much it. So I'll move on to the next character. So, moving on. Emi, I think that's how you pronounce it. She's one of the two main pianists that go up against Koze, and along with Takeshi. While I don't have much to say about when it comes to like her character and her own, I want to talk about the connection that she has with Koze. A lot of characters in this show have a connection with Koze, and the first of these characters is Emi, that I will talk about at least. Of course, in the show, she isn't the first one to appear that has a connection with him, but you know what I mean. I love the idea of her being inspired by Arima, but not liking his boring music, his by the note music, and wanting to make a different type of music, one that isn't like his, and rejecting his type of music. When it comes to the present, though, she has to regain her footing when Arima shows back up, because she struggled there for a little bit, but by the end of it, she did really good, and she was on par with Takeshi and Arima. One more thing I want to say: I don't think she hates Arima the way that Takeshi does, because I feel like more that her hatred was directed not towards him, but towards the type of music he was playing, or his emotionalist playing, his robot playing, not as Arima as the person. At least that's my opinion on it, but of course I could be wrong. Moving on to the second main supporting pianist that go up against him, Takeshi. Now, I think Takeshi is a great character. I really, really did like him as a character. Um, just the rivalry that he had with Arima, or it was a one-sided rivalry up to the present time when Arima returns. and the way that he looked up to him so much that when Arima disappointed him, he hated him for it. Um, he kept he kept com like what the, he kept coming back to the same event and winning it over and over and missing all these opportunities, because he kept hoping that Arima would come back one day, right? And it was great that that when Arima first showed up, it was great that he was instantly more fired up and he wanted to show Arima, you know. Uh, yeah, his interactions with Arima were pretty fun to watch too, because he hates him, but when he gets that compliment from Arima, you could see that it means a lot from him, because that is his hero after all. It's the one who inspired him. Like Arima inspired a lot of people in this show. Uh, so yeah, it was great, and in the end, just like how Amy did, Amy, he found his footing and he went on with it, and it was really good. Well, it's not like he didn't have his footing; he had a grasp on it, but like he had, I would say, closure. That's what I would say, but whatever. Okay, next character, Nagi. Nagi is Takashi's sister, and I don't have much to say about her apart from the fact that I really did like her character. She began she began well, when she first appeared, she just began to hate Arima, right? For no other reason than he's Arima. But like the others, the more that Arima taught her, because she was, you know, Arima was placed as her tutor by Hiroko. She warms up to him, and that was really nice to see how he was her mentor, teaching her, and that duet that they have in episode 18, I think it was great. Also seeing the reaction of Takashi seeing the Arima is, you know, his rival, his also slash hero is playing with his little sister, and I love what Arima did. Arima pushing her past her limits and her wanting to show her brother, right? And her wanting to chase after her brother because her brother's her hero. And it was great. The fact that she only started to play the piano just for her brother to pay attention to her, that was a great motivation. All of these characters have pretty great motivations to want to play, and I really, really, really like that about this show and about her character. She was really nice, and she was an angel. She was so nice. I don't know. I really liked her, and she was a nice addition to the cast in the later parts of the show. So yeah, next character. Now, Tix Tak the best friend girl. I can't pronounce her name. I don't know if you mentioned it here, and I think it's Subeki. If you don't pronounce it T, but anyways, I really liked her as a character. As I didn't dislike any character here, so just to let you know, I'm pretty sure you already figured that out. But she didn't really have much development apart from the romantic aspect of it. You know, she's a best friend. There's that thing in anime where if you're the best friend of someone or like a childhood friend, yeah, there's gonna be romance in it. And it's funny to see how in every show it happens. Everyone. Just recently it happened in Hibiki, and it was like, wow, the childhood friend curse is what I'll call it. But regardless, she was it was great that how she wanted Kose to start playing again, and but she wasn't able to push him towards it, you know, because that's not her world. Music is something that she can't relate to. Um, so it's her seeing her deal with the fact that she can't help him the way that um that Kaori yeah, sorry, that Kaori can. It was good. I love the part that wasn't something to how do I say this? I love the parts when she's just there to support, you know, because that's all she could do, honestly. When it came to the love aspect of it, that wasn't great for me. The love triangles. I'm generally not a fan of love triangles, but I really didn't mind it either. Like, it happened, and that's that. It was there. It existed. Plus, I'm pretty sure that my headcanon is like she'll end up with Arima in the future anyways, because it's not like she can end up. It's not like he could end up with Kaori. Tough wounds. Anyways, moving on to Kaori now. She is my second favorite character in this show. Pretty close to first though. I just loved her character. She was a really great, and she was the biggest push that Arima needed to recover from his past. Kaori was always energetic and happy, right? It just made her fun to watch. And whenever she was on screen, like I was happy, I was smiling. It was like she's fun. She also she also has this side where if you look at her, you can't really think, like you don't really know what she's thinking. And I found myself being like, I wonder what she's actually thinking when I saw her. And I love characters like that. Um, it was pretty obvious that she didn't have much time left, but the fact that her main goal was to play a duet with the person that inspired her, that being Koze, which was great. I did not expect that. Especially, I didn't expect that the goal was already reached in like episode 3, and I was like, wow, that makes so much sense now why she wanted him and him specifically, and why she was crying before if he didn't go with her, because that would have been her last opportunity to play the duet with him, and that was the only goal that she really had. She never planned to go past that, and it was so great. It was such a great motivation, and she was just such a great character. I also like that. I like the lie that she ended up, which ended up explaining the name of the show. I did not see that. When I was first watching the show, someone warned me, and they warned me that there's a reason why the show is named what it's named with, because I never questioned it. It was like Your Lie in April. Like, okay, sure. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I should have questioned it. It was pretty obvious when you think about it, but it still caught me off guard, and I'm really happy that I didn't think too much into it. Now, as the show goes on, she gets more and more sick. She becomes like a different person. She no longer is that cherry and happy, like she usually is, and it just becomes depressing. And I really missed her in the later parts, like her old self. But at that point, I loved both her and um, Kose's characters, so I really wanted to see her get better and to go back to being her old self. And in the back of my head, I knew that this isn't this type of story, that it's gonna be a sad ending, and I wasn't ready for it. I really wasn't. Part of me was really hoping that when they said the surgery, that she would make it out and they would play their duet. But of course, that if life was that simple. The ending was bittersweet, with her choosing to take the surgery in order to get the chance to play with Arima again, and her breaking down in the roof that would with when Arima was there and crying. That was a great moment. And anytime when a character broke down and just cried and like yelled something or just expressed something that they wouldn't usually, it just really got to me, and this show really handled it well. And that was hard to watch. And it was when Arima was performing and she was in her surgery. That was it. It was a moment. I really liked how they visualized their last duet in a sense, because she wasn't actually there, but it was represented like she was, and it was really great. And Arima saying goodbye through that music that he was playing, that was amazing. That really was. Uh, she she lived every day like it was her last, because she didn't have much time left, and it's she was just such a great character. Uh, and it was heartbreaking. It really was. And that was the moment when she died. That was the moment that the show made me cry. I saw it coming. I knew I was gonna cry for it. They would have to mess it up bad for me not to cry, since I already cared so much about these two characters in particular. That it just got to me. And the music when it was explained, it was good. The way they visualized her death too was also great. I was tearing up, man. I was tearing up. Now let's move on to the last one. Koze Arima. He was my favorite character. Now, why was he my favorite character? I don't really know. I guess his development, I would say. Well, I guess I do know, but uh, I, I don't know. He was he needed to get out over his past, and I just liked his arc. I liked his arc in this story. Um, he is connected to 90 to 100% of all the characters here in this show. I don't want to say 100% because I don't remember any of the side characters, so I'll go with 90% of people he was connected to. He inspired them, or he helped them out in the present, or and people he inspired went on to help him out, and that's a beautiful circle right there. The way that he inspired his competition, his rivals. He inspired the girl that he loved. He inspired the sister of one of his competitors. He inspired so many, and he really was the heart of the show in my opinion. His arc of just getting over his past and learning to play from the heart instead of playing like a robot was just great. Um, he was shy, and getting to where he needs to be wasn't easy, especially because of the whole him not hearing his own music, and that aspect of the show was intense when it happened because I remember biting my nails when they had their performance, hoping that he wouldn't start to go into that water place, like how they visualized it when he couldn't hear anything. It was good. It was really good. And it was a great visualization. I gotta give props to how they visualized some events in this show. It was really really nice. He really ended up being a different person. Like if you go back and watch episode 1 and then you see the last one, his development, and it was just great. And that's why he's the heart of it. And because we do follow him, even if we didn't follow him, he inspired all of the other characters. So either way, he's still the heart of it. And I don't know, I don't have much to say when it comes to him, but being inside his head and hearing his thoughts were always nice. Um, we always got our view on him, and it was nice. What can I say? Now, moving on, done with the characters. Moving on to the other 3 segments or sections. The animation. The animation of this show is great, but also very unique. I don't know if they borrowed that from the manga. I know this has a manga. I don't know if it came from the manga or a light novel, but I know it has a manga. I probably should have checked that out, but I'll check that out another time. The way the faces are done is very unique, I would say. And I would say the eyes and the lips. Um, it took me a while to get used to it, but once I got to like episode 3, I never thought the thought about the animation being weird didn't cross my head again, and I just enjoyed it. Okay, this video has gone on for long enough, so let me conclude. A while back, I watched the review for this. I watched Glass Reflections video on it, and this is he said he couldn't judge it the way that he judges the other shows. And I think that is disrespecting how good this show is. Yes, the music is great, and it makes the enjoyment of the show go up even more than it already is, right? But the writing of the characters cannot just be ignored, and all the characters were just great. Like, you can't say that you can't judge it like the other shows just because it has a focus on music, and I don't think that's fair because the character motivations, yes, they are connected to music in one way or another. It all led to it, and what I guess I don't know, that triggered me when he said that. I think that it isn't right to say something like that about this show just because it's music focused, right? Your Lie in April can be called a great show not only because of its music, but because of how all the pieces come together. Um, at the moment of this recording, I have Your Lie in April ranked 14th. It is my 14th favorite show in my favorites list, right? While it keeps changing, my list always keeps modifying with every new show or as time goes by, and I think I'll put a show more. Um, this isn't. I only have around 18 shows, so it's pretty up there, but this should give you an idea of how much I love when it comes to my favorite shows. If I were to talk about the ones on my top, I would probably talk for like a good amount of time. But who knows? I just had a lot to talk about in this one. I don't know if you would love this show as much as I did. I just think it's really, really great and amazing. I don't think it's the best show ever made by any means, and it has its flaws, definitely does. And I just didn't mention the flaws because I'm not a person. I don't like to be negative when it comes to things. I look at the positives, and if I'm gonna talk about something, I'll go for the positives more than the negatives. Of course, that isn't always the case, but most of the times. And at the very least, you can call this show good, and you can't deny that it's good. I haven't heard anybody call this show okay. But yeah, it all depends on your taste, I guess. Anyways, this has been a review. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want more. Yeah, thank you for listening and have a nice day.